just how hard he hit. And my mama told me homecoming games are the best. On the banks of those late fall, late cartwheel sunsets, I wanted to be just like Jeff Davis when I grew up, tackling Seminoles and Bulldogs, playing football in the mud. So everybody sing Tiger Rag at the top of your lungs, and we'll party like it's 1981. Make those Death Valley lights shine brighter. And for good luck, we got Howard's Rock to beat the hell out of them old Gamecocks. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. I feel really sorry for our sisters to the south, 'cause they come up here every other year and get punched in the mouth. Oh, and every home Saturday, it gives us the chills to watch those boys in orange run together down that hill. So everybody sing Tiger Rag at the top of your lungs, and we'll party like it's 1981. Make those Death Valley lights shine brighter. And for good luck, we got Howard's Rock to beat the hell out of them old Gamecocks. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. Oh, somewhere up in heaven, Gaines Adams makes a sack, and that old Banks McFadden is the best damn running back. So everybody sing Tiger Rag at the top of your lungs, and we'll party like it's 1981. Make those Death Valley lights shine brighter. And for good luck, we got Howard's Rock to beat the hell out of them old Gamecocks. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. Everybody, damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. Oh yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Happy Friday to everybody. I gotta be honest here. I'm a little bit annoyed right now. Nothing with YouTube. Just annoyed in general from some stuff that's going on today. Not a very good day so far. But nonetheless, I'm going to hope that you guys can cheer me up. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So do your best to do that. Let's see who's in here in the chat. We got Comic Dude 45. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the stream. Dennis Wilson, my favorite troll. What an introduction song. Yes, sir. You wish that Miami had a song like that, but they don't. Be Spooky's going to be really salty. Pete's going to be really salty when the Bengals kick the Panthers' ass. Yeah. Good afternoon, Be Spooky. Either way. Pete, who wrote that song? It's pretty good. It's a guy named Jesse Rice. Damn Good Day is the name of the song. Jesse Rice. You can find it on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube even, I'm sure. I don't know. Dennis Wilson says, who's the real Death Valley, LSU or Clemson? Sir, just all you got to do is look it up. Clemson was Death Valley before LSU was, and Clemson was also the Tigers before LSU was. They had the same coach, John Heisman. John Heisman coached at Clemson. Then he went to LSU, and then he named Clemson the Tigers. Then he went to LSU, named them the Tigers. There is no debate there. It's a fact. Look at the history books, sir. So, yeah. Also, that rock that everyone makes fun of that they rub before the game, that's an actual rock from the real Death Valley, California, the desert. So, yeah. Anyway, so a couple of things we could talk about today. And I'm glad that Dennis Wilson showed up because... sorry, I'm reading a text. Because one of the Be Spooky, is that $50 bet still on? When did I make a bet with you, sir? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. What bet and for what game and what are you talking about? But yeah, so week one matchups that a couple of things I want to talk about. Week one matchups, the most interesting ones. and all of our favorite subject, right? No matter who you're a fan of, the most hated teams in college football. Now, it's different for everybody, right? I mean, if you're, a Florida fan, you probably hate Miami. If you're a Miami fan, you don't hate Miami. There are some teams though that everyone seems to hate, and that's what I'm really getting at, I think. You bet me $50 the Bengals would beat the Panthers. You bet me? When, sir? If I would have made a $50 bet, I think I would remember that. So, yeah. I don't bet money on games. At least not with other people. Maybe you took that too literally if I said I bet you will beat you. I don't know. Let's see. Can we all agree we hate Alabama? No, I don't hate Alabama. There's 30 teams that I dislike more than I dislike Alabama. So, no. My last stream, sir. I didn't bet you anything. I didn't bet you any money last stream. Anyway, I'm done talking about a bet that didn't happen with you, sir. Believe me, if I bet anybody any money, I remember it. So, week one's college football matchups. What's up, Clemson Carson? How you doing, sir? Good afternoon. Welcome to the stream, sir. For me, the one I'm looking forward to the most, and this is just because I'm an ACC guy, is Dennis Wilson's own Miami Hurricanes facing the LSU Tigers. Now, there's some other really good ones, Auburn and Washington, Notre Dame and Michigan's another really good one. I didn't write these down. I probably should have, because there's more than that. Clemson Carson says he doesn't like Alabama, but he respects that they're good. Yeah, I'm not an Alabama fan, but I don't hate them. I'm not one of the people that hates teams just because they're good. I mean, that's usually what happens. That's the reason a lot of people hate Clemson right now. People that didn't even care about Clemson, now that they're good, they hate them. You know what we call those people? It's simple. We call them haters. Yeah. The only thing that Bama doesn't produce is good NFL quarterbacks. Well, that's true, sir. Yeah, we can all agree on that. No doubt about that. They put a lot of every position in the NFL except for elite quarterbacks. And then whenever you're a shitty quarterback and you play for Alabama, what you do is you get a job with the SEC network, and your name is usually Greg, and your last name is usually McElroy. And then you go on there and be a homer and trash every team that has good quarterback because you were a shitty one and you're jealous. That's what Greg McElroy does, because he's a complete homer and tard. Miami 42, LSU 3. Dennis Wilson, no, that's not going to happen like that, sir. I do think that Miami's going to win, but 42-3 is a ridiculous statement. You're looking forward to a week when we take the Aggies and Kyle Field. Now, that's week 2. I think that's what you're trying to say. You just misspelled 2. Yeah. Oh, believe me, I'm streaming for that game. And Tennessee fan club, I'm ignoring you today, sir. All you want is my attention, the same way that a baby starves for attention from his daddy. Well, today I'm your daddy. Daddy's not going to give you any attention. Unless you want to talk about football, I can talk to you. Otherwise, you're not getting any of my time. You're not worth it. So, how is your list of most underrated matchups going so far, Pete? Most underrated matchups. That's different. Oh, geez. I was supposed to do homework, wasn't I? Did I tell you I was going to do homework and come up with underrated matchups? I think I did tell you that. Yeah. Statement wins in 18 from Miami. There's only one real statement win you can have, sir. That would be for week 1 against LSU, and if somehow you beat Clemson in the ACC title game. I mean, the rest of that schedule, you shouldn't lose a game. Well, maybe Virginia Tech, but that wouldn't be considered a statement win. You're going to be favored in that game. So, I don't know. Granted, my OSU, Ohio State, does not produce good quarterback either. It's weird that normally the teams that normally do really good seem to produce good quarterback. Not produce a good quarterback. Well, unless your name's Clemson, sir. we produce good quarterbacks. So, yeah. And plus, football is changing. It's not the same game it was 10 years ago even. It's moving towards you. Teams that have elite quarterbacks are the ones that win games. You're going to start seeing that more. It's going to be harder and harder to win national titles without an elite quarterback. It just is. The days of just running the ball and playing great defense are pretty much over. The game has changed too much. The offenses have changed too much. As a result, the defenses have had to change. And just ask Alabama. They had an average quarterback last year, almost got curb stomped. It wasn't until they got put in their backup elite quarterback in there that they were able to come and win that game. Yeah. So you'll see. Comic Dude, I'm sorry. I will make sure that I do my homework. I completely forgot about that. And it's a great question. The most underrated matchups. It's a great question that I do need to spend probably 15 or 20 minutes looking into to give you my best answer on that. Tennessee football can't spell his name. Go 1330. Welcome to the stream, sir. Good afternoon and happy Friday, sir. What's with the emojis, Dennis? I didn't even. I'll let you. You and Dennis belong together. The two of you would get along just great. So what were the week 1 matchups I gave? That's the one I'm looking forward to the most. LSU, Miami, week 1. I mean, clearly, like I said before, Washington, Auburn, another great matchup. Can't wait to see who wins that one. Michigan, Notre Dame, Alabama, Louisville. What's up, dude? I don't know. I guess he's downstairs. Pete Jr. Looking for his older brother. Yeah, the kids start school on Monday, so you know how that goes. We let him stay home today. I was gone, of course, but everyone else was home today. Yeah. Josh Dobbs over Deshaun Watson. Yeah, on what planet, sir? The planet that Josh Dobbs is from, because he looks like a friggin' alien. Yeah, that's the same one. What was I talking about before I get interrupted by Pete Jr. Oh, Alabama and Louisville. Another very interesting one. Now, of course, I mean, what's Alabama favored by in that game? Like 4 touchdowns, maybe? I don't believe me. I'm not. I don't think that Louisville is going to win the game. But week 1, you just never know what's going to happen. It could be closer than people think. I hope it's at least interesting, just for the overall experience of watching the game. Comic Dude 45 says, how good is Pete Jr. at football? Pete Jr. or Pete Jr. Jr.? Pete Jr. does not play football. He plays baseball. And Pete Jr. is only 3 years old, so he doesn't play either one. But out of the two, if one of them's going to play football, it'll be Pete Jr. Yeah, he's a little wrecking ball, no doubt about it. Josh Dobbs is a Martian. Yes, sir, it is. Yes, he looks like one, and he even talks like one and plays like one. Yeah. That's too far, bro. Okay. Yeah, you guys just get on here to argue with each other. Don't know what that's about. Doesn't matter. Do your thing, I guess. Is there any other games that anybody else on the stream here is looking forward to week 1 that I didn't mention? I mentioned 4 of them. Miami, LSU, Washington, Auburn, Michigan, Notre Dame, Alabama, Louisville. So those are all cross-conference games, which is what makes them so interesting. But I'm sure there's more than just that. I mean, there's week 1's full of a lot of cupcake games. I mean, Clemson plays Furman. I'd say probably half of the Power 5 teams are playing high school teams that week. You know how that goes. Oh, another one that I just thought of. Virginia Tech and Florida State. I think that game's in Florida State. That's a very interesting matchup. Everyone wants to know how both teams are going to look this year, particularly Florida State with the new coach. And that'll be a little bit of a measuring stick if Virginia Tech is good enough to go down to Tallahassee and beat them. You know, is how good they're going to be in the Coastal Division in the ACC, of course, trying to dethrone Miami. So that's a very interesting matchup for sure. Pete Jr. is a 5-star. Yes, sir, he is. He's already getting offers from places like Alabama, Clemson, Michigan, Notre Dame, Miami, even Georgia Tech, because he's super smart. Yeah. This show is an Uncle Lou Clown Man copy and paste. Right, sir. Right. Sorry, I got emails popping up here. Yeah, I'm a clown and a copy of Uncle Lou, sir. You're absolutely right. I couldn't have said it any better myself. I mean, you must be a Mensa student. Michigan, Notre Dame, whichever coach loses is gone. Dennis Wilson, I disagree, sir. I don't think either coach will be gone based on one game alone. As a matter of fact, Michigan's not firing their coach. I mean, I don't know. He could go 2-10, and he wouldn't be fired. Believe me. Now, the Brian Kelly for Notre Dame, I think if he has a bad season this year, I do think he'll get fired. He's definitely on the hot seat. If he goes 8-4, 7-5, something like that, he'll get fired, I think. But Jim Harbaugh's not going anywhere, which believe me, he doesn't deserve to be there or be getting paid what he's being paid. But whatever, it is what it is. If they want to pay him that amount of money to be third in his own division every year, then that's their problem, not Pigskin Pete's. Pete, I like your hat. Where did you get it from? Where did I get it from? Lids, a store called Lids. Yeah. Cyanide and happiness makes them plays. Yeah. Yeah, $9 million. That's what they pay. Well, I don't know. His base salary is like $8 million. And I don't know. See, he seems to. The first year that he was there, he made like $10 million because of first year signing bonuses or whatever. I think his base salary is like $8 million, and then, if he makes it a bowl game or something, I don't know how. It's a bunch of legal bull mumbo jumbo. But basically, what it comes out to is he averages making about $9 million a year to be an 8-win team, which is beyond comprehension in my mind. What about West Virginia, Tennessee? Oh, yes, that's another. Go 1330. Great point. West Virginia and Tennessee. Everyone wants to see, can Tennessee win a game? Who knows? We don't know. Doesn't really matter. I tend to think that West Virginia is going to win that game. Where is that game being played? I think that it is in... Is it a neutral site game or is it in Tennessee? I know it's not in West Virginia. Pete, I need some backup against this idiotic Gamecock fan at Uncle Lou's stream today. What time to stream? 3 o'clock? If I'm on the stream, I'll give you plenty of back. You don't need. Why do you need my backup against a Gamecock fan? I mean, that's light work, man. Which Gamecock fan are you talking about? A mentally retarded midget with one eyeball and in one ear could win a fight against a Gamecock fan. That's super easy to do. You're talking about numbers. Okay. Yeah. Listen, if I'm there, I'll back you up. I don't know what to tell you. Are you calling into the show or something? Is that what you're saying? Oh, Bank of America Stadium is where it is. Well, yeah. I was going to say if it was in Tennessee, which probably wouldn't matter, really, to be honest with you. But if it was in Tennessee, I might give them a 20% chance of beating West Virginia. It's not in Tennessee. In fact, it's in North Carolina. I'd say I give them a 10% chance of winning. Gamecocks won't stop talking no matter what. Yeah, that's what they do. They do a lot of talking. They just don't do a whole lot of playing football. Off-season champs every year. Doesn't really matter. Clemson Carson Gamecocks will beat Clemson this year, sir. Good afternoon, Catfish from the Volunteer Roadshow. Welcome to the stream, sir. I will be checking you out tonight, sir. I believe I saw you posted you have a call-in show tonight at 8 p.m. I wouldn't miss it for the world, sir. I can't wait to see what you got going on your call-in show tonight. Everybody, if you don't know who Catfish is, go sub him up. The world's best Tennessee volunteer video maker, and it's not even close. Yeah, Tennessee fan club. Guess what? Catfish is a volunteer fan, and even he thinks you're an idiot. Believe me, he does. Yeah, 10%. That's what I would say, 10%. Yeah. Hey, prove me wrong. The only reason I say 10% is we know what West Virginia is, and we know what Will Greer is. We don't know a lot about Tennessee right now. So it's the unknown factor, sir. No disrespect meant. It just is what it is. Yeah, Catfish. This guy shows up on my stream every day, tells me how much I suck, tells me how much of a copy of Uncle Lou I am, tells me he's going to show up at my house and beat me up, and all kinds of crazy stuff. He's a loser of the first order. Yeah, so that's who he is. My second game is Oregon State versus Ohio State, and for the late night game, I'm really looking forward to the Navy and Hawaii. It's going to be a big Navy party. Is that game in Hawaii? Yeah, I'd like to see that game too. Oregon State versus Ohio State. That's not a good game, sir. Ohio State is third string would road grade Oregon State's first string. So, yeah, that Ohio State game is not going to be a good one. The only thing that would even be remotely interesting is if Oregon State was in the game towards the end. I mean, for me, for a content creator, a YouTuber, any video maker out there that covers college football, Oregon State staying in that game, first of all, would be a minor miracle, if not a major one. But more than that, even more interesting than that, would be if they kept it interesting. I mean, talk about Ohio State fans could not live that down. The Oregon State is the second worst team in college football behind Kansas. I'm not a fan of Tennessee because the rabid portion of their fan base destroyed Greg Schiano's head coaching career. Tennessee. I disagree, sir. Tennessee did not destroy Greg Schiano's. Greg Schiano was never coached at Tennessee just because they rejected him. That didn't. Whatever Greg Schiano's problems are Greg Schiano's problems, not Tennessee's problems. Now, I do agree that it was stupid what they did, but listen, it'd be different if he coached there and they ran him out, but he never even got hired there. So a place that you never worked before is not going to be responsible for ruining your career. I don't think. I mean, Greg Schiano's problems are his problems, not Tennessee's. This is something that no one's ever said before. And Catfish just said it. You'll never hear these words used in the same sentence. So somebody should screenshot this. Catfish says, Dennis Wilson, sadly you are correct. Now, I'll read the rest of the comment here in a second, but you'll never hear those words uttered in the same sentence again. This is the first and only time. This is like seeing a unicorn. Dennis Wilson, sadly you are correct. I have never seen those words written in human history, and never will again. But that's changing real soon. Yeah, but the first part of that was epic. Tennessee hires him. The fans fired him. I don't think they never hired him. Not officially. But here, the fans are not responsible for ruining a coach's career. If Greg Schiano was an elite coach, he'd be coaching somewhere right now as a head coach. Believe me, a bunch of Tennessee fans showing up with some cardboard signs with marker written on it is not going to destroy a coach's career. You guys are a trip. All right, so as for most hated teams, since we're getting into this second part of the stream here, most hated teams, I think the most hated teams just in general, again, are historically great ones. Ohio State, I think, has got to be at the top of the list. If you go anywhere outside of the state of Ohio, and you're not an Ohio State fan, they hate you. Am I right? That's got to be at the top of the list. I know more people that hate Ohio State than like them, than fans that like them. People hate Ohio State. I'd say another one on that list, if you want to go out to the West Coast, is Southern California. Southern Cal. People hate Southern Cal. I don't. I'm indifferent to it. I mean, I hate every West Coast team just because I'm an East Coast guy. But, I don't have any sort of personal vendetta against USC. But but people hate USC. Miami's another one. For some weird reason. I think it was because of everything that went on in the 80s and 90s. When you had the teams there that were very flamboyant, sort of rebels, trash talkers. They're sort of doing that now, but not with the trash talking. They're not as flamboyant, but with the gold chains. People don't like that. They were called the convicts, even though I would never use that term to describe a bunch of young men that were playing football. But that is a term that was used, the Catholics versus convicts thing when they played Notre Dame. So Miami's always been a team that's been hated outside of Miami. I mean, listen, Miami's hated in Florida outside of Miami. Clearly, Florida State and Florida fans hate Miami. And you can go anywhere else in the country. If you're not a Miami fan, you probably hate them. So there's three teams right there. Those might be the top three teams, most hated teams that I can think of. And, of course, Alabama because of their recent success and their 16 titles that they claim. So that's the top. That's easily the top four. Tennessee fan club has to go. Good sir, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. Nobody cares if you have to go or not. Nobody cares that you're even here to begin with. Trust me. South Carolina is the most hated team in the state of South Carolina. If you're a Clemson fan, they are. I mean, that's my most hated team. Big time underrated rivalry nationwide. I think it's getting more and more notoriety. People that are outside of the state of South Carolina don't really understand the hate between these two teams.
Stickers.
You got stickers?
Yeah.
You want to show them to everybody?
Yeah.
Look at those. Look at those stickers, everybody. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, so there's no love lost between these two teams. You can look at, what was it, Lou Holtz last year at South Carolina as a coach. There was that bench clearing brawl. They had to stop the game. I think they canceled the game. People it wasn't just, some elbows and punches thrown. There's people getting their head stomped in on the field. I mean, the players got seriously injured, like had to go to the hospital injured. It was terrible. There was fights in the stands. Of course, last year it was in South Carolina. You saw that mess of low class, that exhibition of low class fans, mainly in the student section, pretty much the entire student section, throwing bottles and trash onto the field at players. 30,000 of them flicking their middle fingers and screaming obscenities. Dabo even had to address it, saying that it was sad and pitiful and embarrassing to the University of South Carolina that happened. So these teams hate each other. I mean, they hate each other. The fans don't like each other. The team hates. They don't like each other. It's a very, very nasty rivalry. It always has been. Clemson Carson says he doesn't hate Louisville because of Petrino. He hates Petrino because they are now one of our division rivals. Yeah. I'm indifferent to Petrino. I understand what he did. He seems like a scumbag for what he did when he was at Arkansas, but I wouldn't consider Louisville to be a rival of Clemson. Louisville has never won the division since they've been in there, and they certainly haven't come anywhere close to winning the ACC. In order to be considered a rival, you need to be at least on that level. Even with Lamar Jackson, they weren't on Clemson's level, so they need to start winning and competing at a higher level before I consider them to be a rival. Right now, they're just more of probably the third best team in the division. Kind of like Michigan is in the Big Ten East. Same thing. Yeah. B Spooky says Clemson's defense is fire, though. That's something I'll say about them, being a draft nerd. I'm excited to see a talent coming from that team. They're saying there could be 3 or even 4, all 4 starting defensive linemen could be drafted in the top 10 overall in the draft. Can you believe that? Could you imagine 4 defensive linemen from one team going in the top 10 overall in a draft? It'd be the first time that's ever happened, and that would be amazing. But yeah, so Clemson is going to dominate the draft this year because it's just so loaded with veterans. Dennis Wilson says, y'all's DBs are so soft in the secondary this year. It's like taking candy from a baby. No, we've been soft in the secondary for the past 2 years. This year we're not. This would be the best secondary we've had probably in 5 or 6 years. So you might want to make sure, Dennis Wilson, that you get your facts straight before you start running your mouth. 31-3. Never forget that, sir. 31-3. Our secondary had no problem preventing Miami from scoring any touchdowns in that game last year, as soft as they were. So, I mean, listen, John 908. Good afternoon. Welcome to the stream, sir. I'm glad you can make it. Haven't seen you in a while. Maybe you've been watching from afar. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But you're here now, and that's all that matters. And I'm sure if you're here, your day already is more fantastic and amazing than it was before you got here. So, yeah, I would agree. Be spooky. I think that they're gonna have the best defense in college this year. I mean, listen, that's the consensus. That's just not my opinion as a homer. That seems to be the consensus among the so-called experts in every publication that you can read across the land. Now, of course, they still have to go out there and prove that, but yeah, it's borderline unfair, the amount of talent and upperclassmen that Clemson has on their defense this year. Clemson Carson says his Patriots need to draft one of Clemson's front 4, but he doubt that will happen. Well, it won't happen because they won't be picking in the top 15, probably. And that's where they're all going to go. So, Miami's O-line about to make them wish they went to the NFL. Dennis Wilson. Comic Dude 45 says, make your prediction. How long will it be before Cellar Dweller rises to the top in each Power 5 conference? Ooh, Cellar Dweller as in the worst team in their conference? So so first of all, it'll be 40 years before Kansas does. 40 years before Oregon State does in the Pac-12. Who's the worst team in the Big Ten? Is it Illinois or Indiana? or Rutgers. Rutgers, right? It's got to be Rutgers. Rutgers has got to be the worst. 30 years for Rutgers? I don't know. Maybe never. Cellar dwellers. Most of these cellar dwellers are never going to be great because they've never been great in their history. You're saying Illinois is the worst one? All right. Well, again, 40 years. All right, Illinois. Prince 6'1". Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining the stream. You're amazing and fantastic, like always. So Illinois, it'll be 30 years for at least. I'm talking about this is a minimum until they do. Jamie McCaslin, how you doing, sir? So out of the ACC, what's the worst team in the ACC? North Carolina? Syracuse? I don't know. It's one of those two, right? So I'd say you could take the worst team out of every single Power 5 conference, and I can't see them becoming rising to be the number one team in their conference in my lifetime, unless some crazy shit happens. I mean, like really crazy. Yeah. Illinois. I don't even know what Illinois' mascot is. Did they even have one? I'm being serious. I think that they literally had their mascot taken away from them because they said it was racist. Am I wrong about that? I think I'm right about that. The Illinois mascot was like some sort of Native American Indian character, and they took it away. Yeah, an Indian looking thing. Hey, Hoghead. They literally stripped them of their mascot, and I don't even think they replaced it. They don't even have a mascot. Can you imagine a Power 5 team without a mascot? The Fighting Illinois. Illinois' mascot was called Chief Illenweck. What the fuck? Was that really what his name was? Oh man, that's funny. I'm sorry. That's funny. First of all, it's funny. First of all, that name is funny, Chief Illenweck. I mean, what's even funnier is that now they don't have a mascot. But I bet you. You know what's funny about that too is I bet now, if you're like, of course, if you're an old school Illinois like alumni, and you graduated from there and you're old school and you think it's a bunch of bullshit that they took your mascot away for politically correct purposes, which is what it really was. Let's not kid ourselves. I bet if you have some like old like mascot gear, like a sweatshirt or a sweater or a shirt or something or a hat, like that says Illinois on it with like the picture of the guy, because they don't sell that shit anymore because they'll get in trouble for it. You could probably sell that on eBay for like hundreds of dollars for a T-shirt. It's so stupid. It's better than a tree. Yeah, that's a good point. Go 1330 says it's better than a tree like Stanford. Meanwhile, Stanford's mascot is not a tree; it's a cardinal. What does a tree have to do with anything? Cardinals live in trees, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Still weird. Doesn't make any sense. Nobody's ever got. No one's ever been intimidated by a tree. I promise. Prince 6'1" says he couldn't point to Illinois on a map. Damn, dude. That's one of the biggest cities in the world, Chicago. I know exactly where it is. Right on the Great Lakes, Lake Michigan. Indiana doesn't have a mascot. Exactly. It's ridiculous and funny at the same time. Because I actually made the statement. I don't know how long it was. It was like a couple of months ago when I was trashing. It was during one of my Big Ten videos when I was doing previewing the Big Ten. What is it? The Big Ten. What are they in? The East or the West? I don't even know. That's how much they suck. I think the West probably. And I said in that video, I was like, I don't even know what Illinois' mascot is. Like, that's how bad they are. And then somebody commented and was like, they don't have a mascot. And I was like, so then I looked into it, and I thought they were trolling me. Turns out they don't have a mascot. I couldn't even believe that. Indiana has a mascot. They're the Hoosiers. It's still funny. I wonder how many people know that Illinois doesn't have a mascot. For those who don't know, Rutgers is in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Yeah, it's the New Jersey. Syracuse is the only team in what they call themselves, the New York team, because there's no other college football Power 5 teams in the state of New York other than Syracuse. And they play in a basketball stadium they call the Carrier Dome. It's still a basketball stadium. I'm sorry. And you know how I know that? Easy, because the basketball team plays in the same stadium. That's how I know. And then, so Rutgers is the only team in New Jersey who is a Power 5 team. So there's, similar things there. Syracuse has the weirdest mascot in sports. I would have to agree. That grown man that puts on leotards and stuffs himself into a giant fruit and runs around on the sidelines every week. I'm sure he's got to be addicted to drugs. Or a major alcoholic. I would have to be high and drunk to get in a giant fruit and run around in tights. Believe me, I would. What's up, Falcons Fury? Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you could join us. Yes, thank Jesus that the weekend is here. I completely agree. I was about at my wit's end today. I almost didn't do a stream. I was so annoyed. I didn't think I could even get through it. But thankfully, you guys are so awesome that you're cheering me up and getting me out of my funk. Because I had a terrible day, and I just was in a shitty mood all around. Yeah, Dennis Wilson. Syracuse drugged Kelly Bryant on the Carrier Dome field last year, and then Kelly Bryant went and drugged the entire Miami defense on the field and absolutely embarrassed you. As a matter of fact, as bad of a quarterback as everyone's saying that Kelly Bryant is, he looked like Tom Brady against Miami, didn't he? I mean, he had like an 80% completion percentage, threw for a couple touchdowns, ran for 100 yards. I mean, he was just out there balling like Mike Vick and Aaron Rodgers even. He looked amazing. Yeah. Comic Dude says he's in Mexico right now. Yeah, not bragging at all. You should be bragging, sir. Mexico is awesome. I love Mexico. I literally went there on my honeymoon. We were there for a week. I didn't want to leave, and then I told my wife, I was like, look, when our kids are grown and like out of the house, I would move to Mexico. I'd live there. I seriously would. I'd live there. First of all, if you can live like a king with just a tiny little bit of money in Mexico. I mean, American money goes very far there, and it's just beautiful and awesome. And people aren't so uptight like they are in the States. Americans are so uptight and depressed. Everyone in Mexico is happy. Even the poor people are happy. It's amazing. I love Mexico, and I love Mexican beer too, by the way. Well, get in a good mood, Pete. You're not a Tennessee or South Carolina, so you're kudos, Falcons Fury. If I'm not a Tennessee or a South Carolina fan, I have a lot to be thankful for and be happy about, sir. You are absolutely right. I agree with you. Yeah, it's Jamie. Dennis Wilson Dennis ruins it for Miami fans. Miami fans are some of my favorite fans in college football. Most of you guys are awesome. I even like him, but he keeps poking me until I think he wants to get roasted. That's why he does it. Let's see. Prince 6'1" says he's in Publix right now getting filet mignon steaks. He was about to brag about that. Wish he was in Mexico instead. Hey, I bet I know exactly where the Publix you're in, Prince. You're right there. You're right on Coleman. You're the Publix on Coleman, aren't you? Right near rifle range. Jamie, soon Miami will be doing the roasting. Yeah, right. Good afternoon. What's up, guys? Yeah. You do love the 23,000 murders each year, 130 being politicians. What? I want to pretend like I didn't read that. I don't even know what you're talking, sir. I don't know if you realize this is a football channel. I mean, look at the border of the screen here. It's all football related. I'm talking about football. The people in the chat are talking about football. You come in here and start talking about murders and politicians. Are you off your meds, sir? Mel and Matt, good afternoon, sir. Mel and Matt says, Roll Tide. I actually respect Clemson fans. Good luck this season. Thank you, Mel and Matt. Good luck to you, too. I'm sure you won't need it. You are Alabama. And maybe we'll see you again for round 4. I'm sure there's a pretty good chance that will happen. Let's see. Good afternoon, JR. Thank you for joining the stream, sir. How are you doing? I'm sure you're doing amazing, or you wouldn't even be here. He says, what do you have Clemson going this year? I had Clemson going 11-1, winning the ACC, and winning their first playoff game, making it to the national championship, and I don't know what's going to happen after that. That's my expectation. With the talent they have, the schedule they have, they should go at least 11-1, win the ACC, and win a playoff game. That's my expectation. Yeah. Clemson Carson, your schedule is very favorable. You guys can easily go 12-0. Yeah. First of all, there's no such thing as easily going 12-0, no matter what conference you're in, no matter what your schedule is. Just period. It's hard to go 12-0. So, more likely they'll go 11-1. They could go 12-0. They'll be favored in every game they play. So will Georgia, so will Alabama, so will Ohio State. Doesn't mean they're all going to win all their games. Jerry Jeudy is a bum at Alabama. Falcons Fear says, hey, Pete, I just wanted to say thanks to you for watching your videos. I'm almost at 800 subs. It's crazy. Too bad school keeps me uploading more. Yeah, no problem, man. Keep making the videos. I'll keep watching them. No doubt, sir. Especially since football season's about to start. I want to keep up with you Falcons guys. Yeah, definitely. He's fine. If this guy just wants to get out here and talk a bunch of nonsense, whatever. Stadium always empty. Oh, does Miami have fans? Yeah. So Miami, they have fans now. They showed up last year because they went for like 5-0, and then so the word went out around town that there was this pretty good football team in town, since the Dolphins haven't been present since 1985, since Dan Marino stopped wearing isotoners. So they started showing up last year at that stadium that's 16 miles or more. I think it's more. 40 miles from the stadium, from the campus. 12-1 after ACC game and no playoff. All right, sir. On that note, I'm gonna have to let you guys go. As much as I would love to stay here and troll back and forth with you, Dennis Wilson, and the rest of you fine folks Comic Dude 45, Falcons Fury, Clemson Carson, JR, Prince 6'1". I'm sure I'll forget some of you. Johnny 9 or 8, Melon Matt. What's up, guys? I was talking some crazy stuff. But good afternoon anyway, sir. Jamie McCaslin, Go 1330. Comic Dude 45. I think I already said. I'm starting to repeat myself now, so you guys get it. If Brett Legg, you're late, sir. Brett Legg, you're great. Sorry, I'm getting texted constantly. It pops up on my computer screen. You have to go back and watch the stream, sir. I'm sorry. I gotta go. So anyway, listen. Read the bottom here. New show every day. Every Tuesday and Thursday. 4 p.m. Eastern, Tuesdays starting next week. Write it down on the calendar, tattoo it on your forehead. Make sure if you tattoo it on your forehead, you tattoo it backwards so when you look in the mirror, you'll read it right side up. I got to go. Have a great day and even a better weekend. Love all of you guys. Pigskin Pete, checking out. If I can figure out how to turn this thing off, I will be checking out eventually, but I'm not smart enough to do that apparently. Have a great day.